Good morning, Year 6. Couple of things to update you on since we did our last chapter. My hair's been cut. Mrs. BD did an okay job, I think. Have any of you had your hairs cut by parents, I wonder? Or had a go yourself? I don't recommend that though. So before we start chapter 8, which is loose lips sink ships, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that sent me some work. I've tried to upload it onto the gallery of the website for you to have a look at, some examples. If you haven't emailed me yet, please do send me an email, even if it's just to let me know how you're getting on. Remember, the email address is year6@hollinhay.cheshire.sch.uk. I'll endeavour to reply as quickly as I can. And on that note, there are a couple of emails that I know I still need to reply to. And I'll try to get back to you today. Okay, loose lips sink ships is a phrase actually from World War II. And it was all about trying to get people to not tell people what was going on because they thought that the Germans might be listening, so they didn't want the secrets getting back to Germany. But here we go. As I ran down the main street, other people were coming out of their houses. Women still tying on pinnies, old men in undervests, children rubbing the sleep from their eyes. Undervests. So that would just be like a vest, like you'd wear under your clothes. I was glad to find Cliff almost immediately standing with Queenie on the steps of the post office. I tried to hurry him back inside, thinking the cellar would be a good place to shelter. "Oh, give over, Olive," Cliff cried. "No one else is going in." Incredibly, there was no air raid shelter warden, nor any sign of one on their way. We might as well have been watching a horse race or a carnival procession for how relaxed everyone seemed. Determined not to leave Cliff on his own, I muttered crossly how foolish it was not to go inside. Everyone was gazing out to sea. It was a bright winter's day, the sun so low and glary you had to shield your eyes. Yet the dark shapes of the Luftwaffe were clearly visible in the sky. "If Jerry bombs my cabbages," said a man with a shaving foam still on his cheeks, "he'll have me to answer to." "Oh, Jim," Mrs. Moores, who ran the bakery, called across the street. "They're heading for Plymouth, you daft apath. Not your garden." What bothered me was the planes were getting closer and louder. There were 6 of them. 1 out in front, 2 flying higher, 2 directly below, and 1 bringing up the rear. They flew parallel to the coast, close enough to see the distinctive black crosses on the plane's sides, close enough to be almost level with the long, low platform of rocks on which stood the lighthouse. "Let's go, Cliff," I said again. "In a minute," he shrugged off my arm. "This is the cat's bananas." "They're German fighter planes, real ones," I said through gritted teeth. "It's not some film at the Picture Palace." I didn't like that he'd used Suki's phrase either, and got it wrong. Someone shouted, "Look, they're turning inland by the lighthouse." Just a few hundred feet above the lighthouse, the German formation was changing shape. "That bleeding lighthouse," said old Mr. Watkins, whose tobacco ration I delivered every day. "Them Jerry pilots are using it to find their way. Look at them, clear as day they are." "Not surprised," Mrs. Moore replied. "It stands out like a beacon." I watched in despair as the first plane turned almost at right angles. The others followed close on its tail. It was obvious that they were, like the man said, using the lighthouse to guide them in. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Queenie bend down and pick something up off the ground. Within moments, the sky above us darkened. Everyone cowered down. I grabbed Cliff and we clung to each other. It was terror on my part, though Cliff was grinning madly. At little more than roof height, the planes went over. You could see numbers on their undersides, the sections of metal held together with rivets. The stench of burning engine fuel made my throat catch, and the noise, it was horribly high-pitched. I thought my ears would burst. "Jeez," Cliff yelled. I couldn't bear to look anymore. It was then I noticed Queenie. She was the only person in the street not cowering. Her arm raised, she was hurling stones at the planes. I didn't know she hit them. It was her face that shocked me more. Glasses askew, teeth bared, she looked almost savage.